41 pounds of tomatoes from 4 plants, 26 pounds of green beans off one 20-foot row. Enough zucchini that Karen started leaving bags of it on the neighbours' porches. That was my backyard vegetable garden last season, and here is the number that matters most. My fertilizer bill for the entire year was $0. Not cheaper. Zero. 2 seasons ago, I was spending close to $100 a year on bagged fertilizer, about what anyone with a good-sized garden spends. Then I ran a test. One raised bed got these store bags right on the label schedule. The other bed got a recipe I mixed myself in a 30-gallon trash can behind my garden shed, made from nothing but things my household throws away anyway. Same soil, same sun, same watering. By September, the trash can bed had outproduced the store bed, and it was not close. Karen has it all in the harvest log. Today, I am going to show you exactly how to build that can layer by layer. So one afternoon of work feeds your garden for a full year. But stay with me all the way to the end, because there is one ingredient, the one many folks assume is the healthiest thing they could possibly add, that can quietly empty the nitrogen out of the entire batch. The reason comes down to one specific thing nitrogen does when the mix turns against it. And once you hear it, you will never look at that ingredient the same way again. I'm Steve Calloway. I've been growing food in the same Midwest backyard for more than 20 years, running side-by-side test beds and writing down what actually happened. My first garden was a jungle of green that gave me about a dozen tomatoes all summer, so I know exactly what guessing costs. My wife Karen keeps the harvest log with me now, and these days our biggest problem is giving food away fast enough. Before we build anything, let's be honest about what you're actually buying in that bag at the garden centre. There are 3 numbers printed on the front of every fertilizer bag. Those numbers stand for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Nitrogen grows the green leafy part of the plant. Phosphorus builds roots and drives fruit and flower production. Potassium keeps the whole plant sturdy and healthy. That is the product. That is what the money buys. And after 20 years of test beds, I can tell you something the bag will not. Your own household produces all 3 of those nutrients every single week and throws them straight in the trash. Coffee grounds carry nitrogen, banana peels and vegetable scraps carry potassium and phosphorus. Eggshells are nearly pure calcium, and calcium is the difference between a perfect tomato and one with a sunken black patch on the bottom. There is one more difference that matters even more. Bagged fertilizer is built to dissolve fast, which means a couple of good Midwest rainstorms can wash it right down past the root zone. The plants get a quick meal, the rest leaches away, and you are back at the store buying another bag. The slow, crumbly material we are going to make feeds steadily for months instead of days. And keep one thing in the back of your mind as we build this, because the ingredient I warned you about is probably sitting in your garage or next to your fireplace right now. I will tell you exactly what it does to the can before we are done. Now, this trash can recipe is one piece of a larger system, and I wrote the whole system down, day by day, in a book called Steve's 30-Day Maximum Yield Protocol. It is the exact 30-day system I follow in my own backyard to roughly double what every plant produces, written out day by day for home gardeners who want significantly more food from the space they already have. No extra square footage, no expensive equipment. It works in raised beds, in-ground rows, and containers. Inside is the full day-by-day protocol from soil preparation through harvest, the big 7 yield killers for diagnosing what's holding your garden back, feeding for fruit instead of foliage, the strategic pruning that feels wrong but multiplies production, and companion and succession planning with the science behind why each one works. It runs 115 pages, and right now it costs $17, marked down from $47. One season of not buying fertilizer pays for it several times over. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you're watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. All right, let's go find you a trash can. Step one is the container itself. You want a plastic trash can that holds about 30 gallons with a lid that fits tight. A dark coloured can works best because it holds a little more warmth. Take a drill with a 1/4 inch bit. Drill about 20 holes in the bottom of the can. That is a 1/4 inch bit, small enough to keep the material in and let the water out. Then drill a ring of holes around the lower sides, maybe a dozen, spaced a hand width apart. Those side holes let air reach the material, and air is what keeps the whole process working clean instead of turning sour. Take your time with the drilling. There is no rush, and crooked holes work exactly as well as straight ones. Now set the can in an out-of-the-way corner of the yard, directly on bare ground, not on the concrete patio and not on the deck. Bare soil matters because earthworms and soil microbes will find those bottom holes and move in from below. And they are going to do most of the work for free. So that handles the container. But an empty can feeds nobody. So now we fill it and the order matters. Step two is what old gardeners call the browns. Browns are the dry, dead, carbon-rich material, and they are the backbone of this whole recipe. The best brown there is comes free every October, and that is fall leaves. Rake your leaves into a low pile on the lawn. Run the lawnmower back and forth over the pile until the pieces are about the size of a postage stamp. Shredded leaves break down many times faster than whole ones because all those cut edges give the microbes somewhere to start eating. The mixing rule for the whole can is simple, and I want you to remember it. 2 parts browns to 1 part greens. That is 2 buckets of shredded leaves for every 1 bucket of the wet kitchen material we will get to in a minute. 2-to-1, browns over greens. If you are short on leaves, dried grass, clean straw, or plain cardboard torn into pieces all work. Skip the glossy paper and the shiny cardboard because the coatings do not belong in a food garden. In my own test beds, the batches built heavy on shredded maple and oak leaves came out the darkest and the crumbliest, and the tomatoes told the same story. Step 3 is the greens. Greens are the fresh, wet, nitrogen-rich material, and this is where your kitchen starts paying you back. Keep a small pail with a lid on the kitchen counter. Into that pail go vegetable peelings, fruit scraps, banana peels, apple cores, and the ends of the onions and carrots. Coffee grounds go in too, filter and all, and if you drink coffee every morning like I do, that alone is a steady stream of nitrogen all year long. Fresh grass clippings from the mower bag count as a green as well, and a summer of mowing adds up fast. Now, just as important is what never goes in the can. No meat, no fish, no dairy, no grease or cooking oil, no pet waste. Those things invite raccoons, breed flies, and turn the can into something your neighbours will write you letters about. Vegetable matter, coffee, and clippings. That is the whole green list, and it is plenty. Step 4 is the 2 boosters, and both of them are free. The first is eggshells. Rinse your shells, let them dry on the windowsill for a day, and crush them as fine as you can manage. A rolling pin over a paper bag does a fine job. Crushed eggshell is nearly pure calcium, and calcium is what prevents blossom end rot, which is that sunken, leathery black patch that ruins the bottom of a tomato just as it ripens. Finer is better because a whole eggshell can sit in soil for years while powder goes to work the same season. The second booster is a shovelful of plain soil from your own garden, tossed in every so often as you fill. That shovelful is your starter culture. It carries billions of the exact microbes that do the actual composting, the same way a spoonful of yogurt starts the next batch. You're not just filling a can, you're hiring a workforce. Step 5 is how it all goes together, and the word to picture is lasagna. Start with a layer of shredded leaves about 6 inches deep. Add a layer of greens about 3 inches deep. Scatter a handful of crushed eggshell across it. Every few layers, throw in that shovelful of garden soil. Then sprinkle each layer with water from the hose as you go. The moisture target is easy to remember. The material should feel like a wrung-out sponge. Damp all the way through, but if you squeeze a handful, no more than a drop or 2 comes out. Too dry and the microbes stall. Too wet and the air gets pushed out, and we need that air. Keep the lid on between additions. The lid holds moisture in, keeps the heavy rain out, and keeps the critters guessing. Keep layering like this through the fall as leaves and scraps come in, 2 parts brown, 1 part green, until the can is full. Step 6 is the easiest step of all, because the can does the work while you sit inside where it is warm. Within a week or two of filling, the centre of that can will heat up on its own. And on a cold November morning, you may see steam when you lift the lid. That heat is billions of microbes eating, and it is exactly what you want. Your only job is once a month. Tip the can on its side, roll it a few turns across the grass, and stand it back up. That 1 minute of rolling mixes the layers and feeds fresh air into the middle. If rolling a full can is more than your back wants to do, a garden fork stirred through the top 2 feet does the same job. And do not worry about a Midwest winter. The outside of the can may freeze solid, but the centre holds its heat and keeps right on working, and everything finishes quickly once March warms up. By spring, the material inside will be dark brown, crumbly, and about half the volume you put in, and it will smell like the floor of a forest. That smell is the finish line. But if you ever lift that lid and get a sour smell or a sharp smell that stings your nose, stop and pay attention. Hold that thought about the sharp smell, because it is the exact mechanism I promised you at the start, and we are almost there. Step 7 is putting a year of free fertilizer to work, and the amounts matter, so I will say them twice. At planting time, put 2 handfuls of the finished material into each planting hole and mix it with the soil before the plant goes in. That is 2 handfuls per hole, not 2 shovelfuls, because this material is rich. And more is not better. Through the season, feed your heavy producers once a month. Tomatoes, peppers, squash, corn, and cucumbers are the hungry ones. Monthly feeding is called side dressing, and it is nothing fancy. Scratch a ring of the material into the top inch of soil out at the drip line, which is the circle on the ground directly under the outer leaves, and then water it in. Roots feed at the drip line, not at the stem. For a quick liquid boost, drop 1 shovelful of finished material into a 5-gallon bucket of water. Let it steep overnight. Give it a stir in the morning and pour about a quart around the base of each plant. That overnight bucket is my go-to the week after transplanting, when young roots want an easy meal. Now, here is why one can honestly last a full year. A 30-gallon can cooks down to roughly 15 gallons of finished fertilizer, and at 2 handfuls per hole and a monthly side dress, 15 gallons carries a family-sized vegetable garden from April clear through October. Whatever is left keeps just fine dry under the lid, and the day you empty the can is the day you start filling the next one. So let's gather that up. 2 handfuls in every hole, side dress the heavy feeders monthly at the drip line. Steep a shovelful overnight for liquid feed. 1 can, 1 year, $0. Which brings us, finally, to the promise I made you at the top of this video. The one ingredient that can quietly empty the nitrogen out of your whole batch is wood ash. Plain ash from the fireplace or the fire pit. And I understand exactly why people add it, because ash really does contain potassium, and generations of gardeners have spread it in the garden. So folks figure that if a dusting is good, a whole bucket must be better, and they dump the winter's ashes straight into the compost can. Here is what actually happens in there, because I burned a batch learning it. The nitrogen inside your can is mostly held in a form called ammonium. And ammonium is stable. It stays put as long as the mix stays close to neutral. Wood ash is strongly alkaline. It is the same family of material as lime. Pour in a heavy dose, and the chemistry of the whole can swings hard toward alkaline. And when that happens, ammonium converts into ammonia. Ammonia is a gas, and a gas does not stay in the can. It rises straight out through the lid and into the sky. That sharp smell that stings your nose near a compost pile, the one I told you to watch for, that is not just an odor. That is your nitrogen, the most valuable nutrient in the entire recipe, physically leaving as vapor. Every whiff is fertilizer you will never get back. It is the same reason no farmer spreads lime and manure on the same day. So the rule in my yard is simple, and it came straight out of a side-by-side test. No more than 1 coffee can of wood ash in an entire 30-gallon batch, dusted in thin layers, never dumped. And if you're not sure, leave it out completely, because the recipe works beautifully without it. If your can ever does pick up that ammonia sting, it is telling you it has gone too wet or too rich. Mix in a few buckets of dry, shredded leaves, give it a good rolling, and it will settle back down within a week. The garden doesn't lie. It rewards the system, not the guesswork. And that is exactly the kind of thing the whole protocol is built on. Tested, cheap, and written out day by day so you can just follow along. Steve's 30-day maximum yield protocol takes what you learned today and puts it inside a complete 30-day system that roughly doubled what my own plants produce, from soil preparation right through harvest. It is $17, down from $47, which is less than a single season of the fertilizer it replaces, and the garden pays you back in food. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you're watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. So that is the whole method. One 30-gallon can. 2 parts browns to 1 part greens. A winter of patience and a year of free fertilizer with the ash kept to a dusting. If you run this test in your own beds, come back and tell me the before and after. I read every single one. Next time, I'm going to show you the pruning cut on a tomato plant that feels like you're hurting it. The one that added over 10 pounds of fruit per plant in my side-by-side beds, and exactly which stems to take and which to never touch. Get out there and get your hands dirty. And I'll see you in the garden.